What is up, Sopranos fans? Kino here. Today we're going to be looking at the 9th episode of the second season, From Where to Eternity. One of the best episodes this season, and before we get into it, I just wanted to mention that I spent my birthday recording and editing this video for you guys. It's not my birthday when this video airs because I record them way in advance, but I just wanted to let you know, and I hope you all are appreciative of all the work that I do for you. And I'm just saying, it would have been nice if someone had wished me a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh god, I think I'm gonna puke. Never mind. Let's just get into the video. This is From Where to Eternity. Now Christopher is in the hospital after getting shot. He's lying there and his heart stops for a full minute, and he's rendered clinically dead. Everyone's worried of whether he's going to survive or not, but he manages to pull through. And when he wakes up, the first thing he asks for is Tony and Paulie. They go into the room, and he tells them that he had a vision when he was clinically dead of going to hell. He met his father and some of the other mob associates like Brendan Falone and Mikey in hell, which to them is a bar called the Emerald Piper. It's an Irish bar. They have gangsters there from all across time, as well as like Roman soldiers. So it seems like in Christopher's vision, Italians go to this specific hell, the Emerald Piper. And he tells them that in addition to all the things he saw about his father and the fact that they kill him every night, the same way he died in real life, he tells them that Mikey gave a warning to Tony and Paulie. He said 3 o'clock. Now, Christopher is heavily medicated on morphine from getting shot, so Tony doesn't believe that he went to hell. He thinks it was just a dream. He tells this to Melfi, and Melfi probes into whether he thinks Christopher's going to hell and whether he thinks Tony is going to hell himself. And Tony says that he's not, that they're soldiers, they're just following codes. And he ends up talking about the fact that, Italians came to America, very poor, to be worker bees, and the rise of the mob was done to protect themselves and to defend their honor and things like that. He's making up excuses for why the mob exists. And Melfi actually challenges him for once. She says, what do poor Italian immigrants have to do with you? You came from a stable background in terms of, your dad was in this, so you weren't poor. The excuse of, the old school Italians doesn't apply to you anymore. He gets really pissed off at this. But it's the first time we ever see her, really confront him about his hypocrisy, which is really interesting. But even though he doesn't believe that this was a dream, Paulie definitely does. He's deeply disturbed by what Christopher told him. He starts having nightmares about being dragged to hell. And his girlfriend suggests that he goes and sees a psychic. So he goes and sees his psychic who seems like he can talk to the dead. Some parts seem like bullshit, like, the normal cold reading. But we actually do see him get some details right. He does seem to know some things that he shouldn't be able to know. He guesses of Paulie's first kill, a guy named Sonny Pagano. And it seems like that could be just cold reading because, he's throwing out hints. He says son, and then Paulie says he doesn't have a son, which leads into Sonny instead. And then Paulie kind of gives him the hint of Pagano. So he could have just connected the dots on those. But he does seem to know about the Mikey Palmise hit. He asks about poison ivy and if it still itches. So that's really suspicious. That's kind of bordering on supernatural, which there are some supernatural elements in The Sopranos. We'll talk about those more as they pop up. But there does seem to be things beyond just the normal, psychic bullshit going on here. And it's really funny. Even though Paulie denies believing in the ghosts and stuff, he storms out. And when he storms out, he gets a chair and throws it in the direction of the ghosts. So even though he's saying he doesn't believe in it, subconsciously we can see that he's terrified that the ghosts are haunting him. He goes to talk to Christopher. There's a great little detail which he shakes the chair to make noise to wake Christopher up and says that he was cleaning up, basically just so he can wake Christopher up without, taking the blame for disturbing his sleep. But really selfish, great little detail there. But Paulie talks to Christopher and explains that he doesn't believe that Christopher went to hell. Instead, he went to purgatory. And Paulie has this great system for purgatory where he says that, they had to add up all their sins and multiply them, and that's how long they have to wait in purgatory before going to heaven. Paulie thinks he's going to do 6,000 years in purgatory, but eventually he will get to heaven, which is great that he thinks that, he can rationalize all the horrible shit he's done with just basically like a timeout. But great little detail there. Meanwhile, the guys are looking for Matt Bevilacqua, the guy who shot Christopher. He's in hiding right now. And Pussy, in particular, is worried that Tony thinks he's a rat. He's worried that Tony is suspicious of him, and he's trying to find a way into his good graces. So when an informant comes along and tells him where Matthew is, he leaps at the chance. He brings this information to Tony, and they go in. They find Matt. They capture him. They interrogate him for a little while, pretend that they're not going to kill him. But in the end, they, very coldly execute him. And Pussy goes along with this as a way to get into Tony's good graces. And by the end of the episode, it seems like Tony's more friendly to him than he was before. So this might have alleviated some fears that Tony had about Pussy. The last little subplot going on in this episode is Carmela hears that a Soprano family associate got his Guma pregnant. She really worries about the shame that this would bring on their family if Tony got his mistress pregnant. So she tells Tony that she wants him to get a vasectomy. He refuses at first. He doesn't want to be less of a man. But by the end of the episode, he agrees to it. But Carmela decides at the end that she does not want him to get the vasectomy. Instead, she wants him to be faithful. She's kind of renewed her passion and her love for Tony because of this whole incident with Christopher. And they make passionate love at the end. So that is the plot of this episode. A really good one. We get a lot of, character moments with Christopher believing he's going to hell. A lot of spirituality and the supernatural element. But really interesting episode, and stay tuned for the next Soprano log coming soon. Thanks.